Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another video. Obviously, half Tottenham versus Chelsea preview-ish, kinda. But also, there is some links and there are some concrete links to certain players in the transfer window. Of course, it is the transfer window in January now, so we've got to talk about that as well. Now, we know the wing-back situation. We've spoken about it. We did an episode there with Nini last upload, talking about Emerson, talking about Dest a little bit, talking about, obviously, Digne, who's now going to Aston Villa, talking about, the wing-back situation. But new links before we get into, the rest of the video is obviously Dembele. That has come to our attention that, Tuchel potentially wants his old player back. Maybe it's an easy link for the media to make, but it seems like someone that is available on a free, and I'm going to get to that in a minute, could be linked with Chelsea and wanting to come to Chelsea, or at the end of the season, obviously, he has relations with him at Dortmund when he was there. Very, very talented kid, but I've got opinions on that and they're coming. But just briefly on the Tottenham game, of course, Kepa, Tuchel, they did their press conferences. We talk about players being missing, Kante and Silva. For me, Kante and Silva need to be away from this game. I know they're just coming back, but for me, it's like, just save them for Manchester City. We are going to the Etihad on Saturday, lunchtime kickoff. It does not get more difficult. I keep reiterating this every single show that I'm on. If you go to the Etihad and win, I'm not saying this game coming up, but that is like what it used to be when you went to Old Trafford and won back in 10 years ago. It's a title decider. It's a game that you go to Etihad and win. The 2 times Chelsea have won the title, they've gone to the Etihad and win. Conte, 3-1 win. Hazard, Willian, and Costa with the goals. Mourinho, title win. Ivanovic went there, scored. They called it a Mourinho masterclass. If you go to the Etihad and win, that usually means you're going to win the league. Am I confident this weekend? Absolutely not. Do I think we're going to get it done? I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Absolutely not. With the players we got out and the way Man City are playing, absolutely not. But would it be nice to go over there and put up a proper performance and try and take points? Yes, it would be great. Now, if you don't win, it really is done. Like
no. If you said you're going to go there, you're going to win, and you're going to win the league. Have faith.
I didn't say that.
Up the Chelsea.
I didn't say that.
Up the Chelsea.
It's literally not what I said at all.
Oh.
I said, if you do that, it usually means you're going to win the league.
Up the Chelsea.
Fuck off. So, for me personally, it would just be nice to go over there and get a result and continue to put down some sort of foundations for second place. Like I said, if you do go and win there now, then maybe you can be on the peripherals of a race. But for me personally, I don't see that happening, and it's a long way to go. But it is still a big game, and we do have Tottenham in between that. And like I said, for me, you keep Silva and Kante out of this. We're 2-0 up. We should be more goals up. I'm going to give you my team here. We should be more goals up. We managed to get an opportunity to rest a few players against Chesterfield. It was still quite a strong team, quite a strong attack. I'm not going to say that those attackers have taken any confidence from scoring a goal each against Chesterfield in the National League. I'm not going to say that at all. I think Lewis Hall, one player that can come out of that game with extra confidence and extra self-esteem. I think the rest of them, business as usual. But coming into this Tottenham game, this tie should already be done against Conte's men. And I'm hoping that, it is a foregone conclusion in the second leg. Yes, we're away from home. We should not be letting a 2-goal lead slip. I'm happy to see Kepa speaking on the importance of winning this trophy. I've said it, and I've come out and said it already. For me, for the rest of the season, we're a cup team. We need to go and win the cups. I don't care if it's the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, the Club World Cup. Do you know what I'm saying? As long as it's not no Audi Cup, no BMW Cup, no car manufacturer cup that they make for teams in North London, I want that cup. Emirates Cup, Airline Cup. Do you know what I'm saying?
Arsenal Cup.
Yeah, it's long. All these made-up cups that they keep creating for themselves, where they sponsor the tournament and it's at their stadium for all of the games, and then they still go and lose. Because I remember Didier Drogba scoring for Galatasaray against Arsenal in the Emirates Cup. That was a beautiful day. But yeah, for me personally, we need to go and get these cups. Collect as many of these cups as possible. And that's including the Champions League. It's also a cup. But anyway, so very important game. Glad to hear Kepa speaking on that and saying that it is important to him too. I've used this as an example so many times about when Joe Cole won that Carling Cup under Mourinho, the first trophy. He spoke about the importance and how it has set the pace for the rest of the team. Now, obviously, this team have gone and won the most difficult trophy of all, the Champions League. But you can do it in backwards. You can do this backwards if you want. You want to win the most important ones first and then do the little ones afterwards? Go for it. But I've said it before. We've lost 2 domestic final cups in the last 2 years. Don't let that come out your brain. Arsenal and Leicester in the FA Cup final. If this is not important to you, make it important. Make it a part of your agenda. Make it top of your list. We need to win this cup. 2 cups in February. I want them both. So yeah, good to hear Kepa speaking about it, and probably one of the biggest moments of his career for Sarri against Manchester City, where he obviously didn't come off the pitch. So I'm sure he wants to redeem himself. And obviously Tuchel talking about he trusts him, not nervous about him, etc., etc. Great to see. Now moving on, transfer news. Dembele at Barcelona. Let's talk about him. We've had many discussions in this household about this man. He's been linked with Chelsea. People are saying, oh, listen again. If Tuchel wants him, you give him to Tuchel. Cool. But my opinion, before he even comes through this door, I'm always going to give you my opinion first. I'm never going to be this guy that just keeps saying, just get whatever the manager wants. I have no other opinion. I can disagree with the manager. You could disagree with the manager. You can want someone else. And then if they come, you can support them. I do this every time. You know how it works. Dembele, for me, I don't want him personally. I really don't. The guy is injury prone. How are we going to have him and Pulisic in the same attack and expect to get game time? We're probably going to get the game time of one player with two. Now, people say he's free. He's not really, though, because his agent fees, because he's free and there's no transfer fee, is going to be astronomical. His wages are going to be and are astronomical at Barcelona.
400 to 450 estimate. Because that's what he's asking Barcelona for right now.
Yes. And you don't sign for 140 or 135 million from Dortmund to go to Barcelona and then end up on peanuts. So he's on a lot of money. So he's probably going to...
Signing on bonus? Everyone forgets about those.
Yes, all of these things. He's probably going to shake the wage structure quite a bit. Now, I know Tuchel's worked with him previously at Dortmund. We've spoken about before the unprofessionalism, the way he left Rennes, the way that he left Dortmund.
Let me just,
You want to...
I got a lot to say. Ousmane Dembele is... In his brain, he thinks he is what Neymar was at Barcelona. He is arrogant. He is disrespectful. He has a history of being extremely disrespectful about how he moves, as in he just goes to the other country. Oh, I thought from Rennes to Bayern Munich. He didn't tell Rennes he was leaving. Rennes didn't agree the fee. He just went to Dortmund. Oh, I thought I already signed. So the clubs had to work it out. Sorry, to Bayern. My apologies. Sorry, I'm to Dortmund. My apologies. Then from Dortmund to Barcelona, he just went to Spain. Oh, I thought you worked out the transfer fee. He has a history of doing this. He's unprofessional. He's arrogant. He thinks he's way more important than he is. Doesn't play enough games. Doesn't earn his spot. And more importantly, I think he is a locker room divider. Take the thing back.
And for me personally as well, we're trying to press from the front. Why would you then bring in an injury-prone player who can't string together 5-6 games, same issue we're having with Pulisic, and then put them in a more physically demanding league on the wing where you're going to get clamped by the likes of Wan-Bissaka, etc. I've had the same argument for Hazard. I'm very consistent on this point. I don't like bringing injury-prone players into the league, especially when they've had attitude issues and they've had professionalism issues with his diet, etc. And we've been speaking about that previously as well.
Bro.
The attitude and the looking after yourself, playing PlayStation until 3 a.m., 4 a.m., all of these things, discipline, late for training, all of these things that we're trying to keep out. We're trying to keep the team, the camaraderie. For me, I like to judge my players like this now. If Pep doesn't want them, then why do we? Because they do their due diligence on these players and their personalities, and they make sure that they bring players into the environment and the ecosystem that are not joke men. And I know Tuchel likes him and he's worked with him previously, and maybe he doesn't want him as much as the media are making it out. We're going to see. But for me personally, it's a no. It's an absolute no. I don't want the player. I'm saying that on record right now. And there's so many other options out there that I think would be just as talented, not injury prone, and we're not trying to fix another individual. Focus on fixing us.
I'll hit you one final point. You could potentially have a Lukaku situation in a year and a half time with Dembele of him being on really high wages. Him not Chelsea, it doesn't work out at Chelsea.
Yep.
Off rip, he might not want to be at your club no more. Now you've got a player that has a high wage and you don't know what to do with. Just point out there.
It's not for me. Not for me personally. I'd prefer us to be a bit more shrewd in the transfer market. Try and find and scout again. This big word I like to throw around, scout. And learn from previous mistakes. And when I talk about learning from previous mistakes, I talk about two eras. The Michael Emenalo era, which was Salah, De Bruyne, Hazard, Juan Mata, Oscar, Courtois, Lukaku when he first signed. All of that great scouting from Belgium that he done to try and create a dynasty at Chelsea. Then we brought in an impatient manager with Mourinho who wanted to win now. We weren't able to develop those young players, and we paid the price because we were very inconsistent with our title charge from the moment Mourinho left to this point onwards right now, where we finished 10th, top 4, 5th, won the league 2 times, including the Mourinho one, but not consistent domination like you're seeing from Manchester City. And now we're in an era where you can see me constantly complaining, okay, we're not scouting, so use the young players. They're just as talented, coming from the best academy in the world, in my opinion. Let's use them. Let's make sure that we, use them in the first team, and then we buy only the best to surround them with. And we're seeing a few mistakes. Chelsea allowing contracts to run down, whether that be Tariq Lamptey, Livramento, etc. Mistakes, costly mistakes that are now forcing us to bring back Emerson potentially on this loan deal that he was meant to be on, where Leon actually pick him up on a option to buy for around 13 million. Now we have to bring him back because that's the only player Tuchel really feels that he wants in the market right now. He's not too keen on Lucas Digne, etc. Again, we wouldn't have to be making these moves if we were able to keep hold of our young players and maybe make some difficult decisions with the first team and move players on a little bit earlier than we maybe would have wished, but it would now create longevity and again that spell of dominance that I'm talking about. So 2 eras, the Belgium era under Michael Emenalo with the great scouting, and then also the era of the youth, and we're only really half doing it right. So we need to learn from these 2 eras in terms of scouting and in terms of, you know, youth development and patience, because the more Chelsea keep trying to do these quick fixes where we're going to just buy one big name or 2 big names and we're going to hope that that catches up to Manchester City, we are competing against a project. And until Chelsea start to get their recruitment correct and do some proper scouting and find players that it's not about the price, budget, expensive, but it's more about the profile and do they fit the system that we're trying to build, then we are not going to go very far in terms of competing for the Premier League consistently. We might get our odd Premier League here and there like we've been getting, but not consistently. So I'm not keen on that transfer target, but listen, let's see what happens with that. So to round it all off, we want to beat Tottenham, we want to get that done. And this January transfer window, we need to get our 2 wing backs, whether that be a Damatrore, Dest, bloody Emerson recall, whatever it will be. We need to act serious this summer onwards and start preparing ourselves, because this squad is messy, it's congested like central London, and it cannot continue. Smash up the icons. Let me know what you think about the 2 eras that I'm speaking about and how you think we've dealt with those situations as they occurred. You see all these players going off and ripping it up elsewhere. And then also talk to me about the recent era of the youth team and also the Dembele transfer news as well. Smash up the icons. I'll see you, man, in a bit. Score predictions in the comments as well for the Tottenham game. Got a lot of work to do, people. Good luck out there. In a bit, people. Peace.